Maximizing profit from every seller opportunity.
Maximizing profit from every seller opportunity. So you're going to learn from really a master guy doing, whatever it's been, 500 plus transactions for a long, long time. So Mark Gellman, St. Louis, Missouri, floor is yours, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. Let me just get this queued up. I'm a little in the middle of a couple things, so I apologize. Let me find my screen. I may have to move around for a sec, but hey, we'll figure it out. Can you all see my screen, maximizing profit from every seller opportunity? Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. So I'm going to get in this ring. Essentially, and I appreciate it. This is probably my most passionate, other than operations. But here's the thing. Most people on this are spending thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're generating leads. We're all in the marketing business. We happen to sell real estate. So if you think we're doing something other than being in the lead generation marketing business, everybody on here, that's all we do. We just happen to specialize, my team, in real estate. And obviously most everybody on this specializes in real estate. With that being said, most people, they get a call, they get from a seller. And talking from when Colton was mentioning scripts and dialogues, whenever you get a call, and I don't care if it's your best friend, I don't care if it's some random person, but when somebody says, I'm considering selling, it's a script and it's a dialogue. Out of curiosity, when you do sell, where are you going to be moving? Out of curiosity, ideally, how soon would you like to be there? And when you start asking these specific questions of where you're going and how soon you'd like to be there, you get some understanding of their goals. Because one of the things that happens in our business is we're very single-minded, that everybody wants to spend their money the way we want to spend our money. So for example, why would anybody take a significant haircut on a home sale in today's hot, at least in St. Louis, seller's market? It is one of the strongest sellers market, less than 1 month of inventory. Why would anybody ever want to sell their home for less than market value? And the question becomes, there's numerous reasons, but I don't care why, what I'm thinking, I want to understand what they're thinking, and then I want to serve them. And so what happens is my passion becomes is that too many people on here, we need to change our mindset, get out of our own thoughts and focus on what the client wants, not what we want. We need to meet sellers where they're at. We need to, so when we are able to provide options, whether it's a max equity, which is a traditional sale, prepare the home for sale, get the highest amount, try to get bidding wars, or we potentially buy the home, we cross wholesale the home, we hold the home, we fix it, flip it. But if we can meet sellers where they're at, our income will go exponentially up and our client satisfaction will go up and our referrals will go up. The other thing, as I put in here, it will mitigate market fluctuations, because in a great market, when we're buying homes, we have the opportunity to resell and make money. In a tough market, we have the opportunity to buy homes or multifamily and either hold them or sell them. It's benefited my company immensely. It's benefited my agents. I don't produce it all, but this mentality as a leader has allowed my agents to procure more business, because we'll do whatever the seller wants to meet them where they're. We own multifamilies. I own them with some of my agents. I fix and flip with some of my agents. We cross wholesale with some of my agents. We list traditional, some of my agents. I believe the reason that we list and sell more homes in our market than any other team, including all new builders, is because I offer options. In my opinion, if you're not offering options, you're missing out. I'm going to speak for about 35 to 40 minutes, and then I'm happy to answer questions. This is somewhat unique because I engage my agents. I have a team of about 25 agents. Many of them have been with me over 7 years, and then I have new ones, but I partner with my agents. And we all know that our agents are being called from other firms, but when you can have a value proposition that's different than the splits or the lead gen, but actually they're able to build wealth and they're able to buy homes, they're able to flip homes. So again, I want to go through this. And so we spend, and most people on here spend thousands, in our case, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, tens of thousands a month to generate leads. And my objective is to get paid on as many leads as I can. How we do that is we aggregate all leads. We aggregate all leads into our home searches, into our home valuation. We happen to use Fellows. Some of you all use HomeBot. Some of you all use another strategy. In my opinion, if you don't have some sort of place to aggregate them, whether it's a CRM and a home valuation, you're missing out. And again, we can get more detailed in there, but we've aggregated every single lead that comes in from radio, from billboards, from our SEO, from the internet, and they've all go into really 2 sites. Some of our marketing that we're using, get an instant home or a condo valuation. On the back of our business cards, and I hope you can see that what's highlighted, get a home value or cash offer. That's on the back of every one of my clients' business, or every one of our agents' business cards. On all of our signatures, get instant home valuation or a cash offer, click here. How much is your home worth? Click here. Dear homeowner, this is for door knocking. Everything we do has some call to action, some sort of opportunity to aggregate the leads. Too many people send out postcards with no call to action. You don't actually know if they've ever received this. I can tell you when any of our marketing materials make it out because I see the leads come in. So this isn't about lead gen, but I'm just suggesting that this is the type of lead gen that we do that's allowed us to be the top listing agent in the market. We do billboards, and our billboard message, get a cash offer, TGT offer, your home sold guaranteed. How much is your home or condo worth? TGT offer, TGT values. You'll notice on this one down here, we have one of our agents. All of our top agents always make it on a billboard. Again, I'm always looking, and this isn't about retaining agents, but this is about retaining agents and giving options for us to make money, for the agents to make money. I put the top agents on billboards. So we pour into our agents. Here's what I'm suggesting. Leveraging one listing we all know can get 3+ transactions. Traditional agents don't like wholesale deals. Investors don't like traditional listings. It's just the nature of the business. Most traditional people on this call will not do investor deals. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty that are, but most don't. They stick to their lane. And most investors, when you meet them, the ones that buy instant offer wholesale, they don't mess with traditional listings. Again, I believe that when you provide options, retail and wholesale, you have the opportunity to make far greater money and allow the organization to make money, allow it to reinvest in your organization, allow your agents to make money. This is why agents stay here, because of what we do. When you have one option, you're a traditional agent. If they want to sell instant offer, you've lost them. Now you may be able to outsource or refer that, but in general, if you don't refer them out, it's going to be a problem. Let me maximize this screen. I apologize. So we actually have home sold solutions. It just goes right to the Gellman team website. It's just a little name, just a catchy name, home sold solutions. Traditional sale, guaranteed sold, and the instant offer. Again, we have some description of what happens with the rocket listing versus a traditional sale. I have no allegiance to any program that we do. I simply want to make sure that every lead we pay on. And again, I know I'm going fast, but then I'll come back to this. Traditional sale, proven process. And when you're meeting with a client and it's a traditional sale, they want to go in the MLS. You have to make sure do they have the appetite to do work? Do they want to sell it in current condition? I don't like as is, I like current condition. Do they want to sell, or do they want to prepare for sale? Do they want to paint it? Do they want to stage it? Do they want to put new carpeting? You have to listen to your clients. We have a proven process. So throughout all of our traditional marketing, we'll always discuss our proven process. Everybody on this call needs to have a proven process that will help your sellers get to where they're going. If they want to max equity, how are we going to achieve that, Mr. or Mrs. Seller? If they want max convenience, we can put it in current condition, or we'll buy it. Never be afraid to offer somebody to buy their home if it's the right fit. I'm sorry about that. That's the same thing. Instant offer, buy and hold. And again, I'll go back to this and slow down. I just want to give you an overall vision. We have an instant offer program where we buy and hold properties. This is a 4-family I own with another agent. This is an 8-family down here I own with 2 agents. Again, if you can add value and partner with your agents, you can build them wealth. They're going to stay. This is an opportunity again. You're going to, and there's people on here, and I'm going to show you strategies. There's people like, I can't afford to buy these. There's plenty of opportunities, and we'll get into it, how you're going to still make money off of these without buying and taking ownership. I actually take ownership with my agents. And again, it's been a game changer. I've been able to build wealth for my client, for my agents. Instant offer, fix and flip profit. Again, teach agents to build wealth and have additional income opportunities. I don't know how many I've flipped, probably 30 or 40 with my agents. We run P&Ls. This is an example where a couple of we split $62,000 profit. That's a lot of homes to sell at a traditional, but if you can teach them, again, we bought this home for $370. We sold it for $470. We had fees, and then we netted $62,517. We run detailed P&Ls. I've taught them how to do P&Ls, and it's a beautiful thing when you can teach them how to build wealth. A couple of my agents on their own then have flipped on their own. They've bought properties, they've bought multifamily. Again, I think everybody on this call, and again, it's hard because I know there's some that run teams, there's some that are on their own. But if you run a team, you have a responsibility, in my opinion, to pour into your agents. We have to add value every single day. We have to figure out how to add compelling value to their career. And it's okay. There's an old saying, well, what happens if I train them and I give them all these tools and they leave? And you're like, well, what would happen if you don't do any of that and they stay? You're going to probably not have great agents. And so I believe in pouring into my agents. So the first 2 instant offers, this is a buy and hold, and this is a fix and flip. This is our money. Okay. So again, you may say, well, how do I do this without my money? Couple ways. Instant offer cross wholesale. So I went through the MLS, and everybody circled right here has significantly, so they have buy-side transactions that most of their list side, maybe they have 1, 2, 3, 4, but they have hundreds of buy-side. And what that tells you is they represent hedge funds or investors. They are great buyers, agents to build relationships with. Build relationships, understand what their investor buyers buy box is, understand what the hedge fund buy boxes are, and then figure out which of your prospective clients that want to sell instant offer would meet their needs, and cross wholesale. You can get cross wholesale commission from the seller. You can get paid by the seller and the buyer agent. The hedge funds and the investors will pay you. You can get referral fees. There's a lot of ways to make money in it, but this, you don't have any out of pocket. You're just serving a client that doesn't want to go traditional. And again, many of you all are going to say, well, why would they want to sell instant offer? max convenient. We've done it with estates. We've done it with second homes. We've done it where a divorce. We've done it where the person has so much equity, they just want to be done. They don't want to prepare for sale. They're moving to a new city. They just want to be done with it. Again, we can't keep in our mind why someone would want to leave 20, 30, 50, 100,000 on the table. We just have to listen to them. I have one closing in December, a home. The home that I'm closing in December, I'm buying at 425,000. It's worth 600,000 if I just put it on the same day. But it's a 9-month closing. I put it under contract. They're moving out of the country. They have very confidential work relationships that they didn't want to go through the hassle. They finally announced to the companies, but they wanted the security. They could go to Germany and have their home sold. So it was max convenience. They don't own anything on this, owe anything on this home. So again, I listened to the client and I was able to help them achieve their goals. Going back to this, the cross wholesale, also, there are investors. Find out who the local wholesale investors are. Google real estate investors in your market. Attend real estate investor meetups. Find these like-minded people, understand what their buy boxes are, and refer these deals out to them. Cross wholesale these deals out. We get referral fees on a significant amount of properties that we literally never touch. We ultimately put the buyer and the seller together, and all we do is make a referral fee. We do nothing except we've generated the lead. So I don't want to lose track of the importance of actually that we generated this leads. Again, going back to my original comment, everybody on this call is in the lead generation business. We just happen to be in real estate, and I'm focused on listing properties and then the collateral impact of listing a property. Again, I know I went fast. I'm happy. I see there's a bunch of chats. We can go through it. But again, I wanted to give you an overall vision. Going back to this, when you meet sellers where they're at, you can attract more sellers. You can address the uniqueness of the property. You have complete flexibility in marketing because you're able to market to any type of prospective seller. You can expand your expertise. You build trust and referrals because you have happy clients. Again, you have to change your mindset, get out of your thoughts and focus on what the client wants and needs versus what you think they want or need or what you would do. Many of us would not want to leave $50,000 on the table, but many of our clients want to leave $50,000 because they look at the opportunity cost of their time, energy, and money. Some sellers want to maximize equity. Some want to maximize convenience. You have to offer options. Let me look at this. Let me look real quick and see. I think there's, is that list pulled from your MLS? Yes, it is. And again, all I'm doing is I'm doing a ranking report based on buy sides. So again, I've sold later. I mean, I don't know how many. And again, I apologize because these don't really run through the MLS. So when you see like that we're number one in our MLS, and it doesn't even include many of these things because these are cross wholesale where we don't even, we just get paid by both the seller or the buyer in many cases, and they stay off the MLS. But yes, it's a ranking report on the buy side. This is awesome. I just tied up a property where seller didn't want to list it. They wanted a fast close. They owed $258. They wanted $275. It's worth $340. No repairs, and I'm buying it subject to. Pays well to know the investor side. Yeah, I will tell you, I don't love subject to. I don't. It's just something I don't do. I want to work directly with the owner. And I'll never sell subject to mine. I always either take ownership or directly cross wholesale it. Subject to, look, a lot of people have done amazingly well with the subject to. I found on some of the multifamilies that I tried to buy subject to, the problem was the original owner. I'm working with the person that would be under contract, not the owner. So I would ask questions and I just couldn't get much information. But certainly the subject to is a different strategy. And I love it because, again, all you're thinking how to make money. If anyone needs help comping a deal and or wants a cash offer, we have a buyer looking for flips. And so let me explain what happens on how I'm comping these deals. So first of all, I always put the expectation to my agents. So I always ask my agents wherever we're looking at a flip. And I don't go out there, just to let you know. I don't go out there until potential. I mean, I just bought one a few days ago. We closed. The buyer or the seller is living there for 2 more months, paying a small rent, but that was part of the deal we made. I've never seen that house. I probably did like the last 4 or 5 flips I haven't even seen because I trust my agents who I work with. And by the way, when you give people equity, they have the upside like you have the upside, and they have the downside like I have the downside. So they're more responsible. They don't want to lose money on these. If I just give somebody a referral fee on my team, they have no skin in the game. I love when people have skin in the game, the upside and the downside, although we haven't lost money. Because when we look at comping a deal, we do it this way. What is the conservative retail? Not what the retail is. What's the very conservative retail? What's the conservative fix? Conservative retail minus conservative fix comes down to that bottom line. How much profit do I want to make? It can range anywhere from 15, 20, 25. In many cases, there's more. And this is my bottom line. And I don't deviate from the bottom line. Too many people on this call will deviate from the bottom line that says, you know what? I really want this deal and I can pay a little bit more. The home's going to sell a little bit more. I can fix it for a little cheaper. And then they start moving their numbers up. And then the home doesn't sell where they wanted it to. The fix becomes a little higher than they thought. So anyway, that's how we conservatively look at deals. But here's the message, everybody on here. Don't leave money on the table. Every opportunity you have is an opportunity to get paid, whether it's a traditional commission, whether it's a wholesale commission, whether you buy it, whether you flip it, whether you hold it for yourself, whether you refer it out. And so we just keep expanding what we do, and it's served us incredibly well. And we have a significant amount of happy clients. And we have a proven process we've used to sell over 4,500 homes with 5-star Google and Zillow rating of over 1,300. That's my little elevator pitch. And so how does the money work to flip with your agent and help them build wealth if they don't have any money? Sure, it's a great thing. So you can look at it in a couple ways. So how have I worked with agents that don't have any money? And by the way, one of my agents has made on a couple deals, their average about $35,000. They found the home off market. They GC'd 100%. And we using our contractors, I financed the deal and they made X amount of upside. We either split it. I got the first X dollars and then they got everything above. So again, it's however I wanted to structure it, but they had no money in that deal. And I think I've done 3 or 4 with her. And it's a beautiful relationship. I mean, again, I'm not suggesting that people won't leave us. But when I can add enough compelling value to her life, give her an opportunity to succeed and make money in this, it's a beautiful thing. Again, as I mentioned, 2 of my agents, I own multi-families and I flip. And so it's a great question. Some of my agents, I split the money. So it just depends. Every deal, here's the thing people ask, like, well, what is your criteria? I don't have a criteria. I think when everybody on this call wants to put one piece of marketing, this is how we do the guaranteed sale, this is how we do an instant offer, that's when you guys get messed up. I think it's just you have to be fluid in this. You have to listen to the sellers. You have to understand where they're at, meet them where they're at, and figure out what works. Because one size in this does not fit all. And I think it's really important when you start trying to put one piece that, hey, we charge this much, we're looking for this much margin, it doesn't work. It's when you tailor suit it to that seller that their life will change, your life will change, and potentially your agent's lives will change. Who has questions? I'm happy to, again, I'm happy to open up our playbook, but this on a high level, all I know that Colton and myself wanted to do was just open up your mind. I think that when you can open your mind, unbelievable things happen. Hey, Josh.
Mark, how you doing? Hey, thanks for doing this. I was just curious if you could, I haven't done a lot of the cash offer or fix and flips types of things. I guess I'm curious about how that conversation could go or how you frequently see it going. When do you present sort of your instant offer? Is it like at your first meeting, or do you do a follow-up meeting, or what does that look like? So.
Awesome. And here's the nugget, Josh, and I can't thank you enough for asking that question, because here's the most important nugget. Somebody brings you out there and you sense that they want an instant offer, but you don't want to piss them off because you go so low that they actually then reject you for a full service, because we do convert some of our instant offer to full service. We don't convert many full service to instant offer because they already know they want max equity. But here's the thing, Josh. Imagine that I go out and I think it retails for $450,000. Imagine I'm going to buy this for $350,000. Okay, I'm just using round numbers. In order to not piss them off, I start, hey, Josh, just to let you know, I think the instant offer is going to be, and this is my agent doing it because I'm not making these offers. My agent's out there. Josh, I think that our team's probably going to be south, guys, nugget. It's probably going to be south of about 425, 400. I test their appetite because they're at 450 max equity, max traditional sale, and we need to be at 350 for the instant offer. They're probably a good candidate because of timing. They can't double move. They want to sell. They have to sell before they buy all this. But I don't want to piss them off. So Josh, and I'm going to have to run this by Mark. This would be my agent. I'm going to have to run, but I think our offer is probably going to be south of, I'd say south of about 400. What are your thoughts? By the way, when you talk about 400, if you're at 450 and you have commissions and you have inspections and closing, well, you're getting down there already in the 420s possibly, but you have to get them down to 350. So that's the nugget that we learned, that our conversions went up exponentially when we said the number's probably going to be south of 425 or south of 400. We never went straight to 350 because we would piss them off and lose them. So I don't know if that's helpful to you, but that was a game changer for us to just make that little switch.
Yeah, that's huge. I had one earlier this year that was I thought was a candidate for sort of an instant offer, and when I floated the price of what the neighborhood of what I thought it was going to be, I think I did piss them off because they ended up selling to someone else. So
totally, it's going to be south of X, and just test their appetite to understand. Oh no, that's way too low. Well, here's the thing. Then let's just go traditional max equity. Boom, boom. So I'm deviating.
Perfect. Thanks.
And I'm happy, by the way, I'm happy to anybody offline too. I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody wants to give me a call or a text. Dylan.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me all right?
Perfect.
Cool. Josh, I'll add to that too. We've been doing this strategy since we started our team. So like probably about past 2-3 years now. We do a ton of wholesale deals. We do a lot of traditional as well. But what I've built is that this process, we have a very similar listing presentation. So where our agents make that presentation of the offer is we just leverage for them to set the actual appointment first before we ever talk numbers about anything, just like you would on a listing. So it's no different, right? So you go in there and you probably have a number in mind, but you're not going to be like, hey, this is exactly what we can offer you. Or here's exactly where I think the property is going to sell for. So we go in just like Mark's saying, and then once you get in the house, you're going to have a pretty good idea if it's going to be a cash offer type deal or if it's going to be a traditional listing. So a lot of this kind of goes back to what type of leads you're generating too. Because if you're generating more like distress opportunities, the cash offer is going to be massively valuable to you. But if you're generating more leads the traditional way through like open houses and mailers and things like that, you're probably going to generate more traditional opportunities. So But we train our agents on the ability to be able to pivot, and we just run through like pros and cons of each essentially, and then just help them understand which option is going to be best for them. And then on the back end, Mark, I really like how you said the south end of that number instead of giving out like even a ballpark range. We do a ballpark range, and then like, well, which is it going to be? Is it going to be 350 or is it going to be 400? Right. So giving them like that south end number, it allows them to kind of just like think, and you'll see the light bulb either go off or not at all. And then you should just be able to naturally be able to pivot more towards just a traditional listing presentation from there. So that might help you out, it might not, but that's what we do, and we've had a ton of success with it. But yeah, and then for the wholesale side, you know, we do a lot of deals. We're located in Arizona, so we do a lot between here and Georgia and Florida. So if anybody wants help as well, we do a lot of cash offers, and we can help you build your business that way too.
And what I would say is, if you've never done it, I can see how it could be intimidating. I could see how you'd want all the rules and all that good stuff. But here's the thing, and I hate to say you just have to do it, but you just have to do it. And the easiest, slowest way to get into it is to start with the wholesale. So not even taking ownership, where you cross wholesale, you wholesale it to an investor, or you wholesale it to one of the buyer agents representing the funds, and you cross wholesale to them. Again, the most important thing is every opportunity, everybody on this needs to figure out how to get paid on a referral. If you look, we have some of the best agents around the country in here. We have people moving out of state. When I go back to my first script, out of curiosity, when you do sell, where are you moving? Well, I'm moving to Arizona. Oh, fantastic. What area? By the way, I work with some of the best agents around the country. Matter of fact, I have a great agent. By the way, it's easy, but if you don't train your agents, or you're not scripted to ask this, again, the simplest thing is, when you do sell, where are you moving? Ideally, how soon would you like to be there? What does that look like? It's the old expired script. I didn't notice that your home's no longer active on the market. Out of curiosity, you're still looking to get that sold. I actually don't care their answer if they say yes or no. If they say yes, then I say fantastic. And out of curiosity, where are you moving when you do so? If they say no, okay, sure, I certainly understand. With that being said, when you were on the market, if you were to sell, where were you moving? Because I want to understand the reference point. If they're moving to a new city because the family's already relocated, so out of curiosity, you're no longer looking to move there, you're going to still live in this home? No, of course we're going to move. Okay. So when you understand people's motivation, where they're going. Brittany.
Hello, good afternoon. Quick question for you, Mark. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, I'm getting feedback. We come across a lot of wholesale opportunities, but we are struggling as a growing team to come up with the process of how we're relaying the information to possible investors. So I would just like to hear a little more. Do you have like a few investors that you built really good relationships? You just stick it and give them that opportunity exposure first, or are you sending it on express offers? And any investor you've come across, what does that process look like?
Sure, and I appreciate it. I'm actually a little more conservative. I believe I could build an investor list of over 1,000+ people and just literally send it out. But here's the thing. I have 6 to 7 great investors. They've all come to my office. They've all met with me. I have the confidence that they're going to close behind me, because if they don't close, I lose all credibility. So the point is, Brittany, is I've actually built these relationships. They know, don't mess with me. Don't ever not close, or you'll never do a deal again. So I've gone deep with a few versus wide with the whole market. The wide with the whole market, you absolutely have a better opportunity to get more money for your seller, but that's not at the end of the day what my objective is. I want stability that they're going to close. The other thing is, at this point, I could actually make a guarantee that I'll get them 3 offers or 4 offers also, because I know these people. Now, they may not all be the same price, because the way investors work is they all have a balance of how much work they have, how many workers, how many homes they have going on, how their motivation of wanting to buy new fix and flip. So everybody's different. That's why I need at least 6 or so, because I know that at one point this person may be down here and this may be up here, and then the next deal they may switch. So the point is, Brittany, I've just built relationships, and it all started with just really starting with local investors. Hey, who is the best local investor in our market. And it's a great thing to build relationships with those people because they'll love you. They will want to pay you referral fees. And again, let's see, I'll post my, I don't know if that contact is for me or Dylan, but Pete, let's see, somebody asks, isn't most offers going to be 30% below retail? Traditionally, it's hard to say. It is changing. By the way, our competition in St. Louis has changed now that Open Door, maybe some of you have Open Door in your market and OfferPad. They've actually really got a lot more conservative. They were very aggressive with offers. They've actually, because of the financial markets changing, because of interest rates changing, their buy box has actually gone down. So what we were traditionally doing is we would take that retail, imagine it as a $500,000 retail, we would buy 80%, just a general rule, 400,000 minus the fix. If we had to put 50 into it, we would buy it at 350. Again, but I look at every deal different. I look at the speed. There's some areas I won't pay anything for. So it just all depends on the area. But in general, 70% is a nice, that's, somebody said, isn't most offers going to be set 30% below retail? Well, if the fix is 20%, then you're actually going to be 50% of retail. So that rule of thumb of 70%, I'd rather use a rule of thumb of 80% or 70% of retail minus the fixed costs, because fixed are really important. Let's see, what is, somebody said, I don't think we could wholesale. What does that mean, Tina Morales?
That was me. I didn't think that we were able to wholesale as licensed agents at EXP.
I don't know. I apologize if maybe this is bad in the masterclass. I don't know. I do. I don't know what that means. I mean, I don't know.
Somebody responded to me that we just have to disclose our license number. So I'm just, I guess, not aware of what the process is.
I can attest to that just a little bit. So EXP specifically, because we went through the ringer getting approved to wholesale through EXP, because EXP's rule of thumb, at least EXP Arizona where we're at, their definitive rule is no wholesaling, right? So with us wholesaling, we're going to do it anyway, kind of like Mark's saying. So we can either do it the right way and run it through you guys, or we can run it around you, right? So we just had to prove in Arizona specifically, like there's a process to go through, but we had to prove that we could actually had the funds in order to buy those properties, was a big part of it. And then there's like some other insurance and stuff. So it will depend on your state, but I would talk to your broker team to see kind of what that process would look like for your state particularly. Because there are some states where you just can't do it at all and they make it illegal. Like Illinois is one of them, I believe. Like Chicago area, like New York's really difficult. California is becoming more and more difficult. So the state might have some statutes on wholesaling, but there's always workarounds, right? So sometimes you can just close the deal. You could do like a double escrow. There's so many other workarounds around it to where you do it legally and ethically. But it is very, very important that you know how to do it properly. So your state team should be able to advise you a lot better on that.
100%. I run everything by our state team. Our state team happens to be unbelievable. Just to be very clear, our broker, and I have very good relationships. We also pay a small, we charge the company. So our LLCs, by the way, just to be very clear, every one of my properties I own, fix, flip, is in a separate LLC, separate federal tax ID number, separate bank account. I've just always done that. I've done it for years. I never commingle deals. But anyway, that LLC will pay a small commission as a side note to EXP. So everything in my get run through except referrals, but referrals still get run through. I mean, I'm getting probably this year, I don't even know how many referrals we'll get. We refer out a significant amount of business, but they all get run through EXP. And we don't, I mean, we're Icon, we cap all that good stuff.
Can I ask you guys a question, Mark, on the analysis piece? I do work with a good amount of investors and I'm looking to buy myself. And the analysis portion just takes so long. I have a VA who's helping me, but I wasn't sure if there's like, maybe I'm just doing it wrong, where it's just like taking too much time. Like, how do you guys go around the
Sure.
analysis piece so it doesn't take 20 minutes?
So are you talking about the purchase and hold, or are you talking about fix and flip?
Either.
Good. So purchase and hold, I mean, essentially, I could run you through, I mean, literally. So, and by the way, I mostly purchase multifamily. I really don't love single family. I own a bunch of single family, but if I have a plot of land, I'd rather own multiple units. And all I'm doing is taking annualized rents and I'm taking expense factor. I use a conservative expense factor on my multifamily of $4,000 to $5,000, depending on the area. The biggest problem per unit, per door, the biggest problem you're going to have right now is the financial markets have made a lot of deals look a lot worse when you're looking at 7%, 8% interest. Because when you're looking at cap rates, and again, I could go a little deeper in this, I don't know how much time I have, but if you're looking at cap rates, for example, today cap rate does not take into account interest rates. So a cap rate of 5 or 6 actually doesn't take into account interest rates. And so a lot of these deals, unless you're putting down significant money, the deals just don't look good
Nothing
nowadays.
is cash flowing.
Yeah.
No.
And so you're going to have to put down a lot in and fund negative cash flow. I don't like to fund negative cash flow. I'm a cash investor. So I either put down enough money that it works. And by the way, this goes into a whole nother thing is why we're going to be a big buyer over the next couple of years, because all these 5-year and pre-COVID notes are coming due on multifamily and office. And so we're a buyer. We're sitting on the sidelines unless we see a sweet deal. But there are going to be some beautiful refinance where people have to refi and they're at a 3 and now they're going to refi to a 7 and they're going to sell that building. So there's some beautiful opportunities, but running numbers on a multifamily is really, really quick, down and dirty. I mean, even a single family, annualized rent, take an expense factor of 5,000 to 6,000, depending on the single family, maybe more if it's, you know, in some of your markets where you have taxes are high, et cetera, and just simply cap rate it out, apply a interest rate to, and see where you're going to fund if you're going to be positive cash flow or negative. On a fix and flip deal, again, pretty darn easy. I require the agent to do it. Give me the comps on a conservative retail, give me the fix. We've done enough that my agents that do this actually can really run the numbers, or we have a few contractors that will get out to the house and actually do the number and give us the numbers. And so that's been very effective. The other thing is every one of our offers is written buyer buying as is, to right to do inspections within 3 or 5 days with sole discretion to accept or reject findings. If reject findings, terminate contract and return of earnest money. So I'm hedging myself. I won't ever be afraid today. I'll write an offer on any property in St. Louis, anywhere, because I write that in there and I can always walk. Who else has any questions? Again, if anybody has any questions on how to get paid, are most people, are most people on here just doing traditional? Who wants to learn how to invest? Who wants to learn how to take a deal and make money off it from non-traditional? Few people do. What's preventing you from doing that? We'll go to Dora, and then we'll come back.
Oh, I was just saying I want to learn how to do it from non-traditional. I've actually, started reaching out to some people. Dylan, if you're okay, can I reach out to you later today? I'm also in Phoenix and want to pick your brain a little bit, but I would love to know more about all of this, Mark, for sure.
What's preventing you? What's your biggest fear?
I actually just started. So, just not knowing a lot of what to do. I started hitting up some foreclosures, see if, I can generate deals off of that, even though I probably shouldn't, because Gellman is probably calling them or someone in his team is, but I'm going to call him too. So we'll see how that goes.
By the way, I hate foreclosures. So when I buy, so my script to a buyer that wants to only buy foreclosures, just to let you know, I say, why do you want to buy from a foreclosure? There's some financial institution behind that foreclosure that's going to prevent you from getting it for the best deal. I like buying from equity sellers who have the flexibility to determine exactly what price they want to sell at. And I get why people chase foreclosures. They think they're good. But anyway, find equity sellers that are rich and you'll do way better than that. Haley.
And you just looking, sorry, one last question. You're just
Yep.
looking on, see who has the highest equity on like PropStream or something?
No, I'm not actually marketing. I'm just, it's all comes through my ecosystem, a radio, billboards, postcards, mailers,
Hello, I know you're using
home
Zillow, so-
valuation. I don't use, like, I can tell you a lot of my buddies around the country use like REI Vault. And REI Vault is very, very, if that's a business you want to specifically be in, REI Vault's really great. A buddy of mine actually pays code enforcement people to notify him when there's a code enforcement on a house that may be a candidate to buy. Landscaper that knows about a home. So I mean, people are bird dogging very heavily for these. But again, I'm just doing it in the normal ecosystem and just figuring out on every deal how to get paid somehow. Make sense?
Absolutely, thank you.
Haley.
Hi there. So I'm an agent in Central Florida and I prefer to work with investors. I sold a pocket listing 2 weeks ago off market. I have another pocket listing I just got agreements back for today. That's a fix and flip as is. I'm sending to investors. Both have just been through our existing sphere that we got these listings. And every time I sell one, every investor asks, I want more of these. But I'm having trouble prospecting for them and finding ways to effectively prospect for deals like this. Because oftentimes the reason I'm getting the listing is because of my relationship with the seller, because they have a dozen people calling them every week wanting their deal. It's more important than they work with somebody that they have a relationship with a lot of times. So how do you beat that objection of, qualifying yourself to get the deal done, just over the phone or door knocking or something like that?
Sure. So, and by the way, my objective is I'm going to build relationships with the investors, but I don't work for the investors. Investors are very, very high maintenance. Investors have no loyalty, and they shouldn't, by the way. An investor really doesn't need to have loyalty to you because they have loyalty to the deal, not the agent or others. So I respect that, but I'm not working for agents, investors. This, and this is specifically what this is on, is listings and then taking them and doing whatever with those. So the question ultimately, as you're asking, is how do you generate more of these? Well, I think the most important thing, if this is, so we haven't pigeonholed, I don't want to pigeonhole myself as we just do this or just do this. We pigeonholed ourselves as we'll do this, or this. But if you wanted to, for example, leverage off of the two solds that you just did, by the way, I wouldn't call them pocket listings because people may think there's a negative, like this is a traditional sale that you sold off market and didn't, this is more of, look, you represented an as-is seller that wanted max convenience in a timely manner, and you were able to match them with one of your investor partners. And so what I'm doing is that I'm telling a story and I'm continuing to use it. I'm telling a story after story. It just depends if that's what you want to do, then you can leverage off of that. You can door knock, you can send it out to areas. You can go find every house that has grass up to here or dumpsters and looks like crap and just and tell the story. And the story will be extremely effective. We haven't necessarily leveraged off of that because all I'm looking for is sellers that want some service from me, whether it's full max convenience, max equity, or other. But that's what I would do, Haley, if that's like your jam and you want to really focus, tell a story. This is what I was able to do was there a story behind either of those, Haley? Was it an estate? Was it a divorce? What was the story?
Yeah, so the one I just sold, the seller, or both of them, the seller inherited the property. Sorry, there's some background noise, but the seller inherited the properties, can't manage them, can't afford to manage them. One of them had a tenant in place with no lease that we had to work around that. This one's completely vacant, but it's a total rehab. I mean, one of the owners has dementia and can't really understand what's going on. So we're, taking away a burden for them and they're getting cash in their pocket because they owe nothing on the property.
We just solved two major problems for sellers in the last 48 hours. In the last 2 weeks, we did this. One of them inherited with a tenant in there. We were able to match them with one of our investor partners who was able to pay top dollar for the condition and taking on that burden. If you have a property that you want to sell and whatever your story is, and use it, like put that success story out there. I don't know if you do advertising. If you do, put it out there. If you don't, put it on your website. If you have a website, create a little video about it, but tell the story. And because again, at the end of the day, we're in storytelling regardless. And so the beauty is you have a great 2 stories. I love it. Put it on social media. I mean, utilize it, leverage off of it, and then you'll get more. If that's who you want to become, then you attract who you want to become. Again, I haven't wanted to become that per se. I've wanted to become all of that, and then and we have a big footprint, so it's allowed us to do it.
Totally
Who
makes sense.
else?
Thank you for the feedback.
Oh, I appreciate it, Hilly, anytime. Anybody else have any, again, hopefully this is a value and helpful. I mean, I could go back to a presentation, but at the end of the day, I just want to understand where people are at. Pete Sanchez, good stuff, Mark. I love hearing leaders like you because you show me how to think more like a CEO. Yeah, I mean, this is just it. I mean, you look at ROI, you look at leadership, you look at pouring into your people. I mean, these are all just how do I add the most compelling value to my business, to my organization, to my agents. And when you do all that and you actually care about all the people that you're pouring into, incredible things will happen. If you're just micro solely focused on the money, no, I'm serving the person, I'm serving that seller, helping them achieve their goal. I'm helping our agents achieve their goal. And when you put it all together, incredible things happen. And you don't need a roadmap. You just go with what is the right thing to do on each situation. Who else? Anybody else have any questions? Again, we have a couple minutes left.
Do you have a calendar link so that we can set up some time with you just to chat through
Absolutely.
more specific things?
Absolutely. It's a great question. I actually, here's the thing. Let me just see what I do here. And I'm cool with it. Like I said, I love it. And if we can pass along, if we all can just work together and pass along our knowledge to everybody else, hey, why not? So I'll post that Calendly link. Who else has a question? Again, guys and gals, the most important thing you can do is just get out of the fear of like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, and again, you can be conservative. There's plenty of options here. You don't have to go full force. You don't have to be a bat out of hell. You can just dip your toes in, but great things will happen when you start doing that. So I'm actually going to.
Hey, Mark, I have a question.
Yes.
What's been your guys' highest converting lead type or lead source? Lead source. There we go. Lead source.
Well, are you talking about in general?
Yeah, just in general.
Sure. And so we've rebranded our past clients to forever clients because like, why are they in our past? So we've actually talked more about them being our forever clients. Clearly the ecosystem of SOI referrals, forever client referrals, we touch them a lot. We have 3 big events. They get an update every month. They get another video. They have home valuation. So we really have nailed that. Again, Pete, the objective is work with people that know you, like you, trust you. It's a hell of a lot easier than finding new people every single day. It always pissed me off when the fitness club down the street, I've been a member for 20 years, and then they give some discount to find new people that's like, for $1 you can join for the next year. And that's like, well, what about me who's been a loyal client? So we pour into our past client. That's a whole different world that we could talk about, but if Colton's on, I don't know if he's on, but I don't want him making me do another masterclass.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm just kidding.
One last question. What was the biggest value that you saw from leaving Coldwell to EXP?
Sure. And so, and I'm sure it's not by surprise. So we were number 2 or 3 team in North America for all of Coldwell Banker. The reason is I felt like it was the best opportunity for my people. And again, I don't think it's any surprise because I was offered a lot of money to go to Compass, for example. And but it would have just benefited me. I would have got a big check and whatever. But at the end of the day, I felt it was in my best interest. Keep in mind, I was actually, I've been an investor in EXP for probably 7 years, pre damn beer coming over. But I just never joined. I dipped my feet in and then I never came. But the point is, I was there watching it. I've invested in their stock, all that. And it was finally about the right time that I felt that it was in the best interest of my people. I mean, they have the opportunity, not that they're going to do it, but they have the opportunity to grow their downline. They also, when they would bring people on my team, I could put them under them who were under me, and then they'd make a little override. They for the insurance component, health insurance. I just felt like it was the best thing for my organization. Again, when you pour into your people and you care about your people more than your pocketbook will benefit from that. And so it's a hard thing to, so Pete, are you an individual agent? Do you have a team?
We have a team. We have 24 in the organization.
And what's your role?
I am the guy behind the scenes. My wife is the face of it. I'm the recruiter. I'm the investor, loan officer. So we really maximize a lot of the leads. I get the loans from the team, fix and flips from the team. I recruit agents, because I have a background in MLM. So I built a team of 8,000 people in my last MLM business. I do a lot of stuff behind the scenes for my wife, but she's the face of it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, and it just, yeah, I mean, if you're doing it for all the right reasons, if you're doing it for money, it becomes very challenging. If you're doing it for the right reasons, supporting your people and all that, it's a beautiful thing. The MLM component, it's fine, it's great. The only biggest problem is people recruit, and it's a whole different thing. It is revenue. But it's, by the way, as a side note, I keep that separate. That doesn't go through this P&L. I run every business separate. I don't say, I'm in a co-working space right now. I own this building. It's about 7,000 square feet. It's fully rented with wait list. But the point is, that's its own business. Every property I hold, its own business. So just to let you know, I revenue shares my own business. Nothing gets commingled. This real estate. I think people get all screwed up when they start saying, oh, I make money from this and it can support this and other. I'm talking about profit, P&L, and a whole different thing, an event, but you just have to be very careful about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, who else? Anybody else? We have about 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Mark, I have a question. Kyle Mondragon here with EXP in Phoenix. I'm relatively new to the whole, finding deals, finding investors to purchase those deals. In this scenario, I know of a deal that's, I get the house at a pretty good price. How do I go about finding the buyer for that home? Would that be, a referral, or would I represent the investor? How would you get paid on that?
Sure, we actually have an interesting thing. It's been blessed by EXP. It's called exclusive right to solicit. So it ties up that deal and allows me to solicit it, but I don't have a fiduciary duty or relationship. It will ultimately, and I know this is a little complex in 1 minute, but it's called an authorization to solicit. Again, it's been blessed by EXP. It allows me to tie up the home, control the home. I'm able to then pass it along to investors, pass it along if it's an empty lot to builders and other, build relation, and then see where I go with that. And then I turn that into a full listing, or I turn it into a referral. But you have to take control of this. Whatever it is, you have to figure out and find out which are the biggest agents that sell in that area, and if there's any that represent funds or other in that area. But absolutely, you have to figure out, how do I get paid on this property? So what is it? Is it an as is? What is it?
Well, so it's a listing. It's active on the MLS. I knew somebody who was under contract for it for a wholesale deal. They were able to come down significant. I think it was about $70,000 from the original list price. They fell through because he couldn't find an investor on it. So I know that deal is there and it is out there. How would I act upon finding the buyer for that property?
I'm in Phoenix, sorry, and I work with a lot of investors. Hit me up.
Okay.
And I don't love as much online, because obviously it's already on the market. I don't know how I get paid. The only way I get paid is either to buy that on the market, buy it on the market, control it, and then reflip it. Now, if I can buy it so opportunistically, then it works out well, but you just have to be cautious of those. But I like the idea. The key is you're at least thinking about it. Who else? I know we're over a minute, but they'll let me talk for another minute if anybody. I want to make sure we answer any and all questions. Anybody else? Cool. Well, I hope this was of value to everybody. If there's anything I can do to support anybody, let me know. But the key is you just have to figure out how to turn every listing into some sort of money, however you want to do it, because there's amazing opportunities. Thank y'all. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
And you're more than welcome, Mark Gellman on Facebook or other, follow me, Agent Nation. So thank you.